Remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more awesome content.
Alright, look, there's no easy way for me to say this at all, but you guys are right, okay? When everybody said Disney was gonna take over Star Wars, there would be singing and dancing and cartoons, and they were right. Star Wars has finally turned into a musical. Before we get into what the hell I'm talking about, for those of you who haven't seen this last episode of Rebels, let's get into exactly what defines as a filler now, because this is a huge argument. So this past episode about, droids going rogue and turning on the Phoenix Squadron, Chopper and AP5, this was a filler by all definitions. There's those who say that they're not fillers because 5% of the episode had something relevant at the end of it that made it not a filler. This was completely a filler, and there's no argument there whatsoever. At the end of this episode, nothing came out of this episode at all. So with that little bit out of the way, let's get into the review of this episode, because there's no point in recapping this, honestly. So I'm just going to kind of recap it within the review. So basically, this episode is pretty much just Chopper and AP5 go to steal some stuff from an Imperial location. They go to steal plans about Lothal so that rebels can attack Lothal. And I mean, that's pretty much the biggest part of like a plot line you can gather from this, because from that point on, Chopper gets taken over by ISB androids and he gets controlled while they search for the rebel base. And basically throughout the whole episode, Chopper's just trying to get the location of the rebel base on the Ghost and just tries to lock and kill the rest of Phoenix crew that are trying to basically stop him and get him back to normal. And the episode just kind of ends with nothing really important, because they stop them from getting the information, and on top of that, they kill the android ISB team that was in controlling Chopper and wiped their memory core, destroyed the ship in general, but they wiped the memory core of the ship. So I mean, in the end, they got no data. The Empire has no data. The android didn't notify Thrawn about any of this because he wanted to be a kiss-ass to Thrawn, so he was waiting till after he got the information before even telling Thrawn about any of this. So Thrawn doesn't know any of this. So nothing came out of this. So, but I mean, as far as the episode went, it was, I think, decent to me. But honestly, I mean, like I said before, I have no problem with filler episodes. I'm not going to argue about whether most of these episodes are fillers or not, but most of them are enjoyable at the very least. This one kind of just felt, I don't know, it just wasn't as funny. I mean, usually Chopper and AP5 are a pretty funny combo, but Chopper being taken over, he wasn't that funny because he's under control, and it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't have that many funny moments to me. So there's that. So as a filler, it wasn't that interesting. I think the funniest part is exactly what I said at the beginning. The episode ends basically because AP5 got shot out into space by Chopper, evil Chopper, and he's basically basking in the solitude and the quietness of deep space. And as these space creatures, kind of huddle around him, lifting him up in the air, he starts singing, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's funny. Don't get me right. That's probably the funniest part of this episode. Like, when I saw that, I was just like, I just couldn't stop laughing. Like, first it was shock, then I was just busting out laughing. I just couldn't stop. It was awesome. So, I mean, forget what everyone says. I don't mind singing in Star Wars if it's the appropriate moment, because that was hilarious. And then obviously he's getting into it and everything, and then the Ghost shows up to pick him up, and he's like, "No, don't take me back." So that was pretty funny. That was the highlight of the episode for me. But I mean, other than that, like I said, it's pretty much just a filler, and wasn't that funny to me. I mean, most of it was still interesting to watch. I don't know, just because it was new, I guess. But yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. So anyway, I'm gonna go work on a Temple Archives video. So make sure you check out my other content right here. I had a special discussion about who Savitar is from CW's The Flash, so go check that out. And go check out my live stream right here. and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.